Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Adam Steele here from Hot Pole Studios. Hope you're all doing well. And it's time to get back on the horse, so to speak. I've been away for a little while working on some of these massive projects. And today we are back in full force. So, I can see that there are a few of you watching. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And it's good to see everyone back. You may notice that everything looks really nice and sharp on camera today. That's because I got me a new camera. I got a GH5S from Panasonic, and it's great. And so that's going to be my main camera on the studio going forward. But let's run the intro screen before we waffle on anymore. Yes, indeed. Hello, everybody. Yes, good to see you all. I've just started mixing my old-fashioned for the evening. So if you hear any clinking in the background, that's me stirring. But yes, funky new camera. Check it out. Really, really nice camera quality. I am well impressed with it. And I'm currently using a really cheap HDMI capture USB dongle. I've had to set everything up with a slight delay on the audio so that the video syncs up. But whatever works, you know. Yeah, so tonight we are going to be mixing the next set of Banana Ranch songs which have just come through. I downloaded them last night. So let's have a look and see what we've got, because I've literally not had a chance to look at them. But I do have some new plugins to play with. So that's going to be exciting. Let's see what we've got. We've got one called When I Grow Up and one called Don't Call the Doctor. Let's go with Don't Call the Doctor. That sounds like it could be fun. So let's drop in 39 tracks. Oh boy. And let's see how far this gets us. I think I'll be playing the bass on these, which gives me a chance to play with... Oh yeah. I don't know if it's the shirt that's causing the faffing, but it's got automatic focus, so that'll now focus on my hand. Take my hand away and it'll focus on me, which is so much better than any camera I've had in the past. Autofocus has been something of a missing feature for me, because being a traditional film guy, everything's always been manual. Oh, that's good. Num 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 num. Oh, a little sharp. It may need a little more stirring, but that's fine. We've got all night. So let's have a listen to this. Make sure you can all hear it, and then get playing around. So let's have a look. This is going to be, of course, as per usual, with DI guitars that are going to be down the middle until we say otherwise.
Please don't call the doctor, 'cause I can't see him till I get my pay. I don't need a kidney, 'cause this government, it takes my waste away. I will wait till the people join me standing on the street. Will wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. Will wait.
Good stuff. Now, I am just going to check my emails quickly, because there was a request from Paul from Banana Ranch on one of the songs. I think he said, I'm going to have to check it, as I've had a lot of emails in the last couple of days. Which song was it? It was this one. In the bridge, could we have the bass go fairly high, please? Now, I think that means fairly high note choice-wise rather than fairly high volume-wise, although I may well be able to accommodate both. But let's first do my usual housekeeping here. And when I say housekeeping, that triggers a certain memory. Firstly, let's go to actions and strip out the silence, which is something that I like to do when I'm given a mix like this, and this will go through and systematically remove all the stuff that is just dead silent. So that's cleared up everything. And I've not done it to the drums there because I do find that things like drum overheads and room mics and stuff can have little issues if I do that. But nevertheless, on we go. Now, another thing that's going to save me some time, I am going to save this, of course. Mixes for 2020. That would be under, where are you, Banana Ranch. Good evening, Anna. Anna's celebrating the release of her latest album, for which I did the mastering, and it's a really good album. If there's a link for Spotify for that album, Anna, do drop that in the chat, because I'll be interested to promote that and also actually to listen to it in the car, because I realised on a drive yesterday I was going to listen to that album to see how it sounded over the airwaves and couldn't find it on Spotify, so let me know. Now, don't call the doctor. There we go, save that, because saving is important, everybody. Always remember to save everything. Oh, poor little GoPro's feeling very lonely recently. Another email. Oh, it's an email from YouTube telling me I'm live. Always that email. Oy, but yeah, this little thing's feeling very left out recently. But yes, I'm still playing around with things like hybrid log gamma and vlog and all that kind of stuff, which I may not even use, because this camera being 10-bit and 4K and all that good stuff, probably don't need it. Anywho, I'm getting way off track. What I was going to do was open up a new tab. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I want a new project tab, and I'm going to open up Banana Ranch, one of the previous songs. Oh, yes, Anna may not be allowed to paste links. That's a very good point. Live chat doesn't let people. Although, yeah, Marty, if you do see a link that gets hidden, by all means, from Anna, do approve that link. Yes, if that's a possibility. Right, there we go. So Searchlight is opening, which was the previous song that we did, and the reason for that is I'm going to copy the entire drum and effects groups, because that gives us the consistency in between tracks on an album. Paste those there. Okay, because I don't actually need that, and I'm not entirely sure why. Alright, so that must some sort of volume automation that I don't need there. But yes, hope everybody's doing well. Good evening, everybody. So yeah, let's get rid of all this automation stuff, because automation is the devil's work. And let's make sure snap is on and bring these drums down. Da, 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 da. And I think that lot. There we go. Bloody hell, that was my phone going BBC News. Oh yeah, don't want to hear about news right now. Hello, yes, it's been too long since I've done a live mix, and it looks like these are all in slightly the wrong order. So I'll just move that one down. Oh, no. Just that one. Put that in its right place, and then move this one above. There we go. And see, overhead's on the right channel. Hats, floor tom. Yep, everything's on the right channel now. That's a good start. And now let's just listen to these drums soloed. Turn my headphones up a bit, and also let's go back to Searchlight and get the master bus plugins, which were True Iron and FGX. We're going to turn off FGX whilst we mix, but just and also now get rid of Searchlight. See, this snare sounds much nicer than, or more appropriate to the song, I think, than the other songs we've had. Well, hey. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get this snare to really pop a bit more. And I'm going to use PSP's Infinistrip. New headphones, not for me. These are the same HD 650s I've been using for several years. I have a new camera, which means they may look different because everything now looks shiny. And oh, so the album's only available on the website at the moment. Right, okay, cool. But yes, it's a good album. It's got kind of notes of Opeth and Porcupine Tree, and it's got that slight, but the more progressive, the more ambient, the more dark side. If ever you've heard of the album Storm Corrosion, which was Michael Ackerfeld and Stephen Wilson doing some kind of really dark stuff, it's got a bit of that kind of feel, but also some trip hoppy kind of Portishead stuff. And picture resolution should not be iffy at all. It looks right on my side. In fact, looking on Restream, it looks absolutely crisp. My stripy shirt may be making the stream look a little weird because of what's called moire, but otherwise, no, it may well be you. So, what? Yes, PSP Infinistrip. I've just finished making a video about this, which will be uploaded and released very soon. But let's get this on the snare and get this absolutely pumping and cracking. Because this is a pretty cool new plugin. Yeah, so Infinistrip's pretty cool. So I'm going to get this. Hitting quite hard. And really, there are different types of preamps and filters. So I'm going to take the ultra low out here. There's a slight blue tint on me. That's probably because my two lights here are relatively blue. There's an auto white balance on the camera, but it's if it goes any kind of less blue, then the whole background will suddenly look very yellow. Some people have got it automatically set to 480p because YouTube are being very stingy recently. So I'm going to put a limiter on this snare, a VCA limiter, that way. That way we can really crank what's going into it. There we go. So that now, so this was the snare before, and this is it now. Oh, oops. Oh. So that should be a lot less loud. Yeah, 12-inch black pixels on the back wall, yeah. Not particularly keen on the clickiness on this kick drum, so I'm just going to take that away. And those cymbals are a little bit to me, so I'm going to use Soothe by Oeksound. It's the first time I've used Soothe this week, and it seems, oh, it automatically brings up the manual. It's really cool, so there we go. Scott, hello Scott, how you doing? So I want the quality on my cymbals to be quite high, sharp and selective. There we go. That takes that horrible from the cymbals and just takes it away like magic. Which probably means I can have more of everything else going on. Yeah, it's good to see Scott. We've not really had a chance to chat in the last week or two. Feels a little bit like we've been away far too long. And yeah, I've just done a full demo video for Soothe, which will go out soon, which needs editing. And at some point, I was like, this is really cool. Right, moving on. And it just kind of did the thing that I wanted it to do. Yeah, it's just taking away some like horribleness. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So let's move the effects group over to the end, which takes forever because this project has a million channels. All the Banana Ranch stuff does. And so let's make a guitar bus. And yeah, subtle but effective. I like plugins that do subtle but effective because I don't necessarily need it to absolutely smash those overheads into oblivion. I've seen people use Soothe and use it far too aggressively, and I really don't want that. No, Soothe is not saturation. It's like an active EQ that takes away resonances. So it takes away nastiness. So let's bring some guitars in, shall we? I'm also going to bring up the Arturia mix stuff. Come back, come back. Go away. Don't show people all my email addresses and stuff. Oh, that wasn't the one I wanted. Audio Fuse. That's the one I wanted. That's the one because right now, there we go. I have the vocal mic going absolutely full blast in my ears while I'm trying to mix, and that's driving me mad. There we go. That's better. It's better. Soothe for distorted guitars. Depends if the distorted guitars have any nasty resonances. Again, it depends on the sounds you're going for and whether you actually want that or not. It depends what's competing with what in a mix. And I still think that you should do the bulk of mixing as the right EQ, the right choice of mics, the right this, the right that. And then at the end, if there's still some kind of sounds that are just poking through and competing, then it's a really nice tool to just do an extra something. Right, this sounds like it should be slightly crunchy, which means that this is going to be a Kazrog job again. Let's try the chimp, and we're going to add in my own impulse response again, which will be, let's go with that. And that might need going down 18 dB. There we go. Oh. Doesn't bother me that some tracks are clipping. Nope. Oh, because they're not actually clipping. It's just a warning sign. Everything is floating point. Everything in Reaper does not clip until it goes out of your master bus. Plus, these two that are actually clipping are not clipping at all. The hi-hats, sorry, the overheads and the ambience here. It's the side chain that is clipping. So we're never going to hear that anyway. The side chain is just affecting the compressor that is then triggering a kind of a... So yeah, those are not being heard anyway. It's only the snare that actually clips. And that goes into virtual mix rack anyway. And that goes into a trimmer, which then goes into FG Bomber, which goes into the Monster, which all helps to knock off those transients anyway. So yeah, not bothered. If every track had red in the meters, that would be a sign that I was doing something wrong. But everything is about context. And yeah, read up on gain staging, because every modern DAW, if you go above 0, it's not going to cause a problem. Unless that ends up trying to be written to a file. And the mix sucks right now. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky, Scott. The mix he's working on, not this mix. Let's have a listen. These guitars sound too fluffy to me, too blah blah blah. Which means that I need an EQ to go before the amp that will sculpt out a lot of that. That's a weird fill. Okay. They're not coming through the gate, that's why. Turn them up. Yeah, the toms just needed turning up. There we go. That's all part of like mix preparation there. But We're going to use the re-EQ after that guitar to scoop out the low end, because I like the thumpiness of the low end here, but it's just too much. And so let's turn that into a Butterworth low cut. And a Butterworth high cut. There we go. That's got a proper kind of ratty, gritty, indie flavour. I like it. I didn't want to go full on just JCM 800 on it. Yeah, the 50 hertz on the guitar. Yeah, that's the key to the mix right there. The whole extra 50 hertz on the guitar. But the reason why I've got a low cut there and a low cut there is that this one is affecting the way the amp behaves. If I turn that off, the response of the amp is suddenly really flubby. And that's why a lot of guitarists use things like tube screamer pedals, because shelving off low end before the amp can completely change the characteristic of how an amp distorts. It's not just about actually taking away low end, it's about the saturation of the valve stages not being overloaded by low end and becoming flubby and ill-defined. Drinking an old-fashioned again, by the way, for anyone who wants to join in. Cheers. Ding. Oh, isn't that a good camera? Look how lovely that looks. So happy with this camera. He says as the battery dies and it goes up in a ball of flame. But yes, that does mean that I can retire this phone. But then this phone, which was the camera, it's an old iPhone, is going to become, I think, the new tracker for the other toy that I got. I got myself a DJI Ronin SC gimbal, which is at the studio right now. But yeah, you can actually add a phone onto it and tell it, this is my target, and then as you move the camera around, it moves. Right, so an old-fashioned is a double bourbon whiskey with cane sugar syrup, Angostura bitters, orange peel, and maraschino cherry. Stirred to perfection. Slightly sweet, slightly delicate, slightly, not just bourbon whiskey. Oh, yes. Tasty. My favourite. And because I'm on this kind of keto-ish diet at the moment, it's not keto, but it's keto-ish, I'm trying my best to drink drinks that are not particularly high in carbs. I get all my cabling done. All the cabling is never done, my friend. I've got more cabling done in the studio, but it's never quite there. 8 of my vintage BBC preamps are now wired through an Audient ASP880, so that's a big part of it done. It sounds like licking whiskey off a bee's nads. I mean, if that's your thing, sure. Yeah. Yeah, rewiring stuff is something I love to do, and in fact that is my procrastination. I had loads of videos to film for people recently and lots of preparation to do for Project X and Project Y, and instead I'm behind the studio console cabling. So that's my thing. Ooh. Right, so I'll get the cab copied over and the re-EQ, but I'm going to use a very different amp here. I think I am going to use the Marshall. Yeah, let's use a JMP here and see how that goes. Take some low end out of that. Make the bright channel. And then I think I'll pick a different microphone on this that's a little brighter. And then really sculpt the low end out of this so it sticks out in the mid-range. Let's see how that works now. Yeah, I think it's bourbon for me on its own's a bit too fiery, a bit too... it's not enjoyable. I have a sweet tooth. A roll of Velcro and separate the power from the signal cables. Yeah, I mean, the back of my console's got tracks running down the side of it, which I kind of secure everything to anyway. And I do tend to run the power on the opposite side to the audio if possible. But I don't have any audio power issues in my studio at the moment anyway, partly because of that. And another tip is that if you have to run audio cables, if possible, run power cables over them if you have to, a 90-degree angle. That way there's absolute minimum contact. If you do that with your power cables and audio cables, there's a lot of scope for interference, but if you do that, it's absolute minimum. Hello, Jesper. Cheers. Good to see people in chat. And the Bommel. Hello, hello. Good to see everybody filing in. Make yourselves at home. Find yourselves a seat. Right, so there's loads of vocals as per flipping usual with Ricky. So I'm going to make another group there. I'm going to colour the guitars. What colour should I go with for the guitars? Let's make them track colour random. Ooh, lilac. Vocal group. Let's make a group. Yes, do hit the like button. That would be very appreciated, as per usual. I'm going to grab all the vocals, put them up into a vocal group folder, and I'm going to... Ooh, not that purple. No, let's try that again. Another random colour. Yes, there we go. Another thing that I've done this week is now that the live streaming PC is ready in the studio... I set up both of the computers in the studio with a very specific Reaper setup. So, there's a plugin that I have. Hello, Monster Friend from Brazil. Hi. Yeah, there's a very specific setup that I had in mind. So the live streaming setup is going to have a capacity to have a shotgun microphone over my head if I'm doing a filming solo video. But also I've got that wireless mic that's going to be available as well. And of course they're all going to be EQ'd and all that kind of stuff. There's also going to be microphones on the sofa that's behind me and the sofa off to the side. And I think I'm going to have a microphone, just a general heavily compressed mic, in the live room as well. Now, the thing with those is they're all going to be... I'll make them sound as nice as possible. But that's off on a second computer, and the problem that I foresaw is as soon as I start playing the actual mix, that heavily compressed mic in the live room and all the open mics in the control room would cause a lot of issues. So, because of all the bleed, so you wouldn't actually be able to hear what the mix sounds like very well, which kind of defeats the point. So I've set it up in such a way that I'm using OSC on both computers, and they've both got a copy of Reaper running. So the live stream computer has its own copy of Reaper and its own audio interface for those microphones. And at the same time, the actual mix is being sent from the main studio PC to the live stream PC. But using OSC, I'm only sending information to the second copy of Reaper for play and stop. So when the second copy is in play mode, there's a plugin called Mute-O-Matic, and that shuts off all the microphones and only leaves the mix going. So as soon as on the studio PC I stop the recording or stop the mix, all the microphones come back on. So you can hear us all talking and hear us all conversing. And then as soon as the mix plays again, you can hear the important information and that only. So yes, it's going to be really, really useful. And I've been testing it this week. So the next two videos that you see, which are going to be on Soothe and on Infinistrip, were recorded using that setup. So yes. Tasty, tasty bourbon. I'm using Wild Turkey this time as the bourbon as well. I was using Woodford Reserve, but when you start using this much sugar syrup, it doesn't tend to make much difference. So I'm going to mute all the vocals while we get these guitars in place. So I'm just going to call this Scratch Guitar. So let's listen to what these are doing. Well, yeah, it's a clever setup, but it's just more thinking it out and thinking about, I want to do this, not necessarily having a second member of staff operate the board. I want to be able to do it pretty much solo. So that's another reason why the live stream computer is going to have 4 screens. Is one is going to be full screen, a preview of the stream, so that even if I'm sat at the studio computer, I can see it with these. But then the screen above that is going to have the multi-view, so I can see all the separate cameras and all the separate setups. So I can see that if something cool's happening in the live room or whatever, if I've got a remote control on an iPad or something like that, I can change camera angles on the computer that's out of my reach, whilst not getting up from the studio computer. And the audio will basically monitor itself because of the start-stop principle. And I'm trying to have it so it's semi-automated, so that there's still the option of someone manually manning it if I want to have someone like Liam that actually operate the camera setup. But if they're not there, I can still have it all working properly. Now, let's have a listen to this. Ooh. That needs a lot more gain. And that sounds dry as a bone, so that's going to need sending to a room and... There we go. So that's got too much treble on. Let's back that off. Yeah, so having a nice delay on there and a bit of a room reverb just to fill it out stops it sounding super dry. Let's level match it in the mix. Right, what's last chorus? Ben's alt side. Cool, that sounds like that doesn't need an amp sim. That's already been through the mill in that way. But that just needs a little bit of level matching and a little bit of EQ. So I'm going to keep copying the re-EQ over. And I'm going to do the room delay thing again, just copy paste. Yeah, that sounds much cooler like that. Let's see if that's level matched. Starting to lose the impact of the drums there, so I'm going to turn all the guitars down together. Cool, I'll bring those stab chords in a little while, because the next thing is going to be, if I have the equipment available, I'm pretty sure I do. There we go. Yeah. Next trick is going to be plug in, those will do, plug in my bass before I drink too much of that old-fashioned. So I'm going to get one of my Orchid Electronics DI boxes. I do like how that focuses properly now. Yes, so Orchid Electronics DI box. And I just... there we go. Trying to get something into channel 3 is always fun. Because, of course, I've not heard this song before this stream. I've been so busy last couple of weeks that I've not had a chance to do anything, really. So, let's pull up... oh, a dong! Let's pull up a bass track that's not in anything. Make sure that's... one sec. There we go. Make sure it's actually got enough options. There we go. To... seems fairly in tune, but let's just check that quickly with Reaper's own retune, which doesn't work very well for bass until you change the window size. Window size is to do with precision versus range of a tuner. So if I... there we go. Just pull up my harmonics. Always find it's the quickest way to tune. And always tune up, never tune down. tuned down, you get friction stored in the nut, which means as soon as you play a single note... Can you... Yeah, if I can zoom that out a little. There we go. Oh, yeah, it is on. There we go. Now, let's put in this new plugin, which I've not used at all, Mammoth. This should... Oh, it starts off with nothing. So... Primal? Oh, wow. Excuse me, I can turn the actual Mammoth plug up. Seems the 610's got a bit more sharpness. Yes. Custom? Ah, you can add in your own impulse response. That's nice. There are 3 drive types. Ooh. That might be because the Mammoth's up high. And then... Nice growl. Ooh. You can get some real nice sounds out of this. What's melt? I think I preferred the middle drive option. That's very fuzzy. Let's back it down. So I believe the bass is actually just compressing just the low end. There's so many options. Nice, yeah, so let's back that down, bump that up a little, less melt. I think someone's drilling next door. That was weird. But that's interesting that the blend isn't between DI. The blend is between the low end and the top end. I like it. Oh. And then if it's too much, I can slam it. Which is a limiter, which will stop it getting out of control. I love this. change the EQ on my bass very slightly. I might stick with the 412 for this song. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, I'm really liking this. Right, so let's just check the chords for this second part. Right, so it's oh, that reminds me, I must check on eBay quickly. Yes, I'm winning on I'm winning on this beautiful bass, which is a Washburn XB600. I had one of those from being 18 years old to being about 25, and I don't know why I sold it. It was amazing. So hopefully I'll get another one of those. It's a 6-string bass, but it was pretty much the defining sound of me for a long time. I don't remember why the hell I sold it. So let's just go through and track some of this. Start simple, get a little flashy later on. Right, so I get 6 snare hits and that's it. There are a couple of little fluffs in there. I'm getting overwhelmed. Don't know why I just slid off there. Right, so here's the new section. Getting a little bit fancy there. I'm loving this Mammoth plugin. Yes. Yes. Has the chat just stopped, or has everybody just gone quiet? Because it does. No one said anything in 20 minutes. We had a very, very active chat, and suddenly we didn't. And it was around the time that I started playing bass, so could well just be coinky-dink. Let's just see if I can refresh the chat. Oh yeah, Marty says the stream chat's frozen. Okay. So yeah, it seems like the stream chat has frozen, which is weird. But yeah, the whole streaming system for YouTube has become very odd recently. We should be live right now. Oh, blimey, there's been loads. Okay, so where were we? Just one-man band, yeah. Drunk bass, best bass. Yes, support us on Patreon if you would be so kind. That's Patreon/Hotpole Studios. Yeah, let's just see if I can refresh the chat bot. Connection expired. Why would the connection expire in the middle of a stream? That's incredibly inconvenient. Because we are live everywhere, I'm sure. Huh. Cough, he says. Well, the chat bar's just going to have to stay kind of frozen on there, which is, yes, requested high tones. Yes. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, we had a Kerbo. Very nice. So, there we go. So, yeah, it wasn't responding, but you guys were, so cheers. Yeah, so the request was that they wanted the bass to be high at this point, and I think they mean tonally high, so I need to work out the sounds. Oh, that's... a little loud. So this is A flat, G, F, A. Yeah, trying to throw too many notes in there and getting all widdly bibbly. I'll start the first one off down the bottom. And then I'll go higher. Yo. eBay, I'm about to win. Well, in that case then, actually show me the thing. Right, let's do this. Oh, there's more. There's more. Nope. Right, so there's 6 times round, not 4. Oh. Oh, that's weird that the chat bot has started again. Heh. Weird. Right, the timing was all over the show there, so let's try it one more time, but I could actually feel it. Let's change the buffer on here. This might cut out the vocal for a second. There we go, and I'm back. Yeah, I like Mammoth. So the low, mid, high, the Melt, Brute and the Mammoth and everything is actually controls for the top end, and the crossover and bass are controls just for the low end, which you then dial back in. I like it. I will find... What was the other thing I'll find? I'll check retune one more time. There we go. Yeah, I'm starting to get a couple of the poppies here and there because even my 6-core monster of a laptop can't quite handle doing a full mix and a stream all at once. So let's get this done. On the right note, you Wally. slight flub there, so I'll just go from there. In the right key. Turns out it was 2 frets too high. And from there, how have I forgotten the main riff already? Come on. Oh, it's doing so well and I just flubbed it a little there. And all right, put that down next to my new wonderful guitar. For anyone who didn't see the oh, behave yourself, Jazz Bass. Jazz Bass wanted to get into a fight. For anyone who didn't see this week's podcast, this is my new guitar. Check that beauty out. In fact, I'm going to full screen this. Check out. I'm already bashing it around. My PRS Tremonti USA Artist Edition. Ah, what a wonderful guitar. Yes, I could use a little slap, maybe. But notice down the bottom of this PRS, there is no split here. This is not book matched. This is a single piece of maple on the cap. That's ridiculous. Me and my dad, we saw it several years ago. And he instantly was like, I don't have the money. I'm going to buy this. And then he was thinking of selling it this year because his hands aren't doing so good. And I went, I haven't got the money. I'm going to buy this. Because it was just like, ah! It's an affront to humanity to not have that. So let's go through and edit the bass and pretend that this was all one take. And I'm going to turn off snap because snap is the work of the devil when you're editing. And there we go. Yes. Kind of guitar you can make beautiful babies with, yes. But I've already got one. I don't need any more babies. I could do without. I'm good. I'll just have the guitar, thanks. Right, now let's use our ears to make sure that the edits on the bass are all in the right places and clean, because I did that by sight, but it's always worth a check. That's good. That's good. That edit's fine. Right, the edits are good. And I'm hopefully going to win this bass in the next 37 seconds. Ah! eBay kills me every time. But yes. Oh, still doing zoomed in. That is true. I just wanted you all to stare at my lovely face for a while. Ah. That's the old-fashioned making me do funny camera cuts. So, there we go. I won the bass. There we go. Fantastic. I will sort the rest of that later. So, back to the mix. Oh, the mix is entirely incidental to this stream. Don't worry about that. We mix as and when we please. We play bass, we drink old fashions, and sometimes we mix. Godzilla? What? I didn't put that in there. But yes, I am very impressed with this. Could have sworn there was more low end in this kick. That bass was a jazz bass with John East electronics that I put in, a J Retro, and also with upgraded tuners and a Goto bridge and everything replaced. But yeah, good old jazz bass. They're solid. They do what you need. Is it? There we go. We don't need quite so much. Kind of hook up 2 notes IRs to the Mammoth. Not in such a way, I don't think. But... Ooh, there we go. Yeah, I'm just going to up the Mammoth because that seems to scoop the mid a little and just enhance the highs a little bit. But I'll take the highs down to match. I could turn off the cab sim here. And then use the 2 notes IRs afterwards. Or I could use, a wave file impulse response right there. But as it is, I think that sounds great. Yeah, I'm liking this so far. Go full Henrik Linder and have like 4 pickups. I've thought about stuff like that. There's Dave Miros from Spock's Beard famously has 3 pickups in his jazz bass Rickenbacker hybrid because placement of pickups can be just as important as the pickups themselves. That's one of the reasons why there's a difference between 60s and 70s jazz bass, for example. Let's have these power slides and stab chords mixed together, and then we'll start looking at vocals. So this little lot right here can go through. they can be a little bit weird, and I'll go through the same amp just for the heck of it, just to see what happens. Yeah. Huh. Let's see how that fares in the mix. No. Of course, it's amazing what psychoacoustics will do. Let's just tame that. Right, the toms have not got much low end here, but they've got lots of click, so it seems like the toms have been changed. Let's try that in the mix. Cool. That floor tom needs a bit something to stand out, so I'm going to try Spiff. Spiff is from the people who make Soothe, and there we go. What it does is it's kind of like a transient designer, so it doesn't necessarily affect the overall sound, so that dudum dudum on the tom isn't going to sound horribly harshly EQ'd. And without it just goes warm, warm, and with. Yeah, it's got that attack back, but without being a nastiness. Bow. There we go. Still a bit too much low end in that bass compared to the kick. Yeah, that's not doing it. So let's get that stab chord take it out of the group and just turn it down. I like it. There we go. I wanted the sides to have more volume and the center thing to have less volume, because otherwise it goes ba-da-back. And so I was trying to cheat and have less CPU overhead by having less amp sims going, but it was not to be. So, what did I do there? What did I press? What did I do? Adjust track volume. Oh, that's fine.
My voice is heard and it won't be discreet. We'll wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet.
Okay. I found myself fighting with this mic stand a little bit. It's one of the Rode PSA 1, which is great, but it's designed to have a heavier microphone on than this. And as a result, I'm kind of fighting it a little bit. Right, this main vocal, I'm going to try something new on this. I'm going to try Voxengo's Vox Former, because I was playing with that earlier, and I liked it a lot.
Please don't call the doctor, 'cause I can't see him till I get my pay. I don't need a kidney, 'cause this government, it takes my waste away. I will wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. We'll wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet.
There we go.
Please don't call the doctor, 'cause I can't see him till I get my pay.
There we go, and a nice DC filter just because. And that should do it. So it's given me 2 compressors, some extra presence for some extra brightness, which is nice, but also a de-esser, which is taming that gate.
Please don't call the doctor, 'cause I can't see him till I get my pay. I don't need a kidney, 'cause this government, it takes my waste away. I will wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. We'll wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. I don't need a kidney, 'cause this government, it takes my waste away. I will wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. We'll wait till the people join me standing.
Sounds pretty good. It's a little bit chesty in the mids.
I don't need a kidney.
And so on the second vocal, what I'm going to do is my usual micro shift trick afterwards. And then just kind of bury that in the mix behind the first vocal.
I don't need a kidney, 'cause this government, it takes my waste away. I will wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't sticky lollipops away. I will wait till the people join me standing on the street. Will wait till my voice is and it won't be discreet. Will wait till the people join me standing on the street. Wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. Millions of lies destroying millions of lives. Immorality like it's Lord of the Flies. Millions, billions, trillions of money offshore. I will wait till the people join me standing on the street. Will wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. Will wait till the people join me standing on the street. Will wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet.
That needs more hair, I think. And that last ba-da-ba is just overpowering.
Wait till the people.
Turns out that was probably the wrong amp on there. But that's the joy of doing it in the box, is I can just change that. I'm gonna go for some kind of orange. Let's try that. Oh, ogre. I think that was supposed to be an orange anyway. There we go. That's got a lot more guts.
Wait till the people join me standing on the street. Will wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. Will wait till the people join me standing on the street. Will wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet.
Yeah, that's getting somewhere now. Let's make sure we fade these guitars out rather than just let them be just straight blocks. Because is not great. And just massively zoom in on these by using the shift key and then up and down so I know where I can cut my drum tracks. Hello, Eduardo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You've missed me playing around with Mammoth, which is a very, very cool bass plugin. Sidechain on the floor, Tom. What? I think you may be misreading that. There's a sidechain on the overheads and an ambient mic from the snare. So the snare makes the overhead in one of the rooms duck. Just to let the snare through more. And the only thing that's actually clipping there is the snare going out, which is being controlled at the drum group. These, despite what they read, are not. Yes.
Don't call the doctor, 'cause I can't see him till I get my kidney. 'Cause this government, it takes my waste away. I will wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. We'll wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet.
EQ on the compressor's sidechain. Well, that's one way, but yeah, I like, especially on the big rock stuff, to actually have the on the overheads and rooms to get out of the way. It's, yeah, because the snare is much cleaner a trigger than trying to find an EQ point on the overheads, which does also work, but it's just far less clean of a way of doing it. Then yeah, there's always a way, but yeah, that's the way that works for me. That's just super clean.
Please don't call the doctor, 'cause I can't see him.
Okay, this is sounding really good now, but I'm losing the drums, so I'm just gonna bring down everything apart from the drums just a little bit.
Please don't call the doctor, 'cause I can't see him till I get my pay. I don't need a kidney, 'cause this government, it takes my waste away. I will wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. We'll wait till the people join me standing on the street. We'll wait till my voice is heard and it won't be discreet. Please don't call the doctor. The death is nipping at my heels each day.
There we go. Just trying to find just the right amount of limiting on that snare to bring out that tsh and not just have it as a. See, I've just started using Infinistrip this week, and they're not completely different. There's a lot of overlap. It is a good track. I'm really liking this. Yeah, there is a great deal of overlap, but there are things that Infinistrip does that Slate could probably look at and definitely take a cue from. Like if I change from the 80s preamp to the 70s preamp or whatever, all the controls stay in the same place, which means I can quick change between them and decide which one sounds best and then subtly change whatever settings I need to from there. I don't know if there are any limiters. There's a de-esser in here. There's even a de-hummer if you've got like a single coil guitar humming away. So there are other things that VMR does that this doesn't do, but I think over time I'll probably end up using a combination of both. But I'll see what I come to. I mean, there's cool things in here, like there's a 90s, it's kind of a preamp, but not a preamp, where it's using a 12-bit analog to digital converter, at least it's emulating it. And that is really nice. That's done it. Just running the snare through that 12-bit converter just suddenly made it pop out the mix with no extra gain, just a little bit of drive. I actually had to take the high end down a little bit on the EQ there, and it suddenly just pops for me. Right, so there are 3 tracks here that are labelled choir, or chorus backing. So I'm going to put them in a little folder. And let's have a listen. So these are going to get a fair bit of reverb and delay and slammed and all that good stuff. And then I'm going to use Infinistrip again. Stereo, definitely. And there we go. So I've put a little bit of top end on it. I've filtered out a lot of the low end. I've used the 60s pre because it just seems to sit nicely. Let's see if this sits in the mix. Take that high end bump back a little bit and just push the volume. Right, so there's chorus backing 4 and 5 here. What are they? Right, so they can go in that group as well. Definitely hard panned and possibly bumped up a bit just because they're new, so they're a feature, so they probably need to be louder. No, that works nicely. Yes. So what's this? Responses, fadings, bridges.
Don't call the doctor. D-O-C-T-O-R. Death is nipping. I've had enough of it. Put your sticky lollipops away. Where the sun don't shine. I will.
Right, so these just need their own group. Fairly heavy compression, some good panning going on. But lots of like left, right, left, right. Left, right. Slightly off center. So I'm gonna put another infinite strip on here, but also Echo Boy, and just make a slap back here using time 200-ish milliseconds, no feedback. Should give me, if these are all in my group. Oh, right, there we go. I'd actually put them in the wrong group. There we go.
D-O-C-T-O-R.
Ooh.
D-O-C-T-O-R. 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 D-O-C-T-O-R.
Right, that's not what this needs. Let's try then. Oh, it looks like the chat stopped again. Oh, blimey, I've missed loads. Yeah, I understand that we're not hearing the clipping that you see, but you find returns to meter clipping early in general. No, it does exactly what it's supposed to, exactly when it's supposed to, and not before. But it's just an indicator because of floating point maths. It's just an indicator. Yeah, trying not to have clipping is a good goal to have. But if it just so happens that a track clips, and for me that's usually the snare because it's quite a transient thing, as long as it's caught in the next part of the signal chain, which for me is generally how that works, is generally the snare for me has quite a lot of pop on the transient, but then at the group stage it's either a tape saturation or some sort of group compression with the rest of the kit that then brings it all back in line. If you look around the rest of this mix, you probably won't find any other clips. Like I said, those two are actually tracks 3 and 4 on those, which are the side chain from the snare, which we're seeing clipping. And there's a little bit of clip going on the kick. But again, specifically on the kick and the snare, clipping in certain styles at the right time can actually be quite a pleasing thing. And yes, the master in Reaper has 16 dB of headroom before clip. I don't know if that's true if you're exporting to a WAV file. Yeah. Yeah, people who put tape over the master bus meters, yeah. Like I say, it's a good idea to keep an eye on meters because if everything's hitting the red, something's wrong. But if you've got a very particularly transient instrument that's just going a bit over 0 and everything else isn't, and your master bus isn't going over 0, don't worry about it. Oh, in playback you get an infinite amount of headroom. That then depends entirely on the quality of your converters. If your converters are designed to take overs and handle them gracefully, then it's not a problem. Sorry, I'm starting to develop a sniffle again. It's not the dreaded C word. And yeah, There we go, yeah. It's really annoying how the chat keeps kind of dropping out. But I'll try and keep an eye on it. So, yeah, I do want a kind of a reverb on this. I'm going to use Verb Suite Classics, and I'm going to look for a non-linear 16x non-linear, because a short non-linear reverb, maybe the medium one, yeah, and then just blend that in a bit. There we go. Non-linear reverb is kind of reverb stop, but not gated. It's done in such a way. It's a very 80s thing. Best snare plate from Verb Suite, go. That's easy. That's the FG2000 Reverb D CLA snare. Boom. That's actually got like a dual release. So it goes duch, duch. So it makes things sound absolutely huge. There you are, Scott. Haha. There we go. But yeah, for this, maybe even take the mix down a little. No, the Brocasti's great, but as a snare plate, I like character for snare. For snare, I either like the Lexicon 48TA plate if I'm going for something a little cleaner, or the CLA snare sounds absolutely huge. Would I use that with the toms too? Depends on the track. Yeah, a little bit. Again, I might use a non-linear on the toms, depending on the genre, or I might use the Lexicon 48TA plate again on toms, because that's got a wonderful... The second half of that reverb is quite thin, so it kind of goes duch, duch, rather than duch. So, modulated reverb. Yeah, maybe. But, yeah, it's all genre dependent at that point. So the Infinity Strip's not got a lot going on right now. There's kind of a 500 hertzy thing here I don't like. I'll take all the low end out. And drive it 90s? No, I don't like that. Yeah, that's nice. I've had enough of it. Yeah, that's got a real 80s vibe. I've had enough of it. It's kind of like Power Station, late 80s, early 90s. I like it. Just make sure that the makeup gains up a bit. Lexicon plates in Verb Suite? Yes, in fact, the very default that you open is my favourite plate. That's the Lexicon 48TA plate. They make that the default for a reason. Quite often I'll open that up on a snare reverb or a tom reverb or even a vocal reverb, and I'm done. What's that trying to be?
Where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine.
Okay, I guess I'll leave them in. They're not quite in tune, but hey.
Where the sun don't shine. I will wait till the people join me.
just bring them up a little with clip gain. Right, I'll come back to them, but these two strike me as character. Which means that these need what I would call a bit of a radio effect. Not overly crazy, doesn't need loads. Let's see what happens with the non-linear on here. Right, these need a nice thing. My shortcut for clip gain is look at the top of the waveform where it's got up and down, hold down the shift key, and then just drag it. That's it. That's my shortcut. Yeah, no, it's way faster than nudge item volume. Nah. Yeah, so let's have micro shift on here just to pop it out to the sides, but keep the group together. Send lots of this out to lots of reverbs. And then just bring this together with an optical. Because that seems very 60s to me, so that might be perfect.
Millions, billions, trillions of money offshore. 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 Millions, billions, trillions of money offshore.
Right, let's listen to this from the top. Yeah, let's see if we can get some more likes on this. Why not? That's funny. I should just say, like, yeah, love that micro pitch, but you can have my H3000 when you pry it from my cold dead hands. Fun fact, Micro Shift by Sound Toys. That Style 1 and 2 are the exact patches from the Eventide H3000 as written by the guys from Eventide, because the guys from Eventide left and now run Sound Toys. So they've taken it with them. It's not a copy, it's the actual algorithm. So good to know that, yeah, if you ever need to not use your H3000 harmonizer, the micro shifting algorithms are literally lifted from the H3000. Onward. I think we got ourselves a song there in just about 2 hours. Not bad, not bad. And the camera's battery's not gone yet, so that's a good sign. Because, yeah, this new GH5S, I don't actually have a power DC brick for it just yet. I was call and response in the second verse. I have already turned them down. Hey. Although I will nudge these about 30 milliseconds to the right. we go. Nope, no plate on the mix, everybody. I'm going to keep this one relatively dry. No, I think we're done here. Yeah, no, I think we're good. That's the kind of thing where that might come out in the mastering phase. I'm not sure when the album's going to be released. This is song number 7, I think, and it's a 12-track album. So it's going to be a couple of months yet before it gets released, at least. But, yeah, it will be available on all the major streaming platforms, I'm sure. I've got another track to do for these guys, but it's going to be a case of finding the time. Yeah, the bass does sound good. In the end, I didn't go for too much drive. You can hear it's quite understated in a way. Yeah, I think for today, that is where that's going to be. There we go. Yes. Well, they could release monthly singles, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing where I'll be sending this off to the guys. I want this to be relatively dry. I've often found a cardinal sin of mixing is adding too much reverb overall. You think it sounds good, but it stops a mix from transferring well across different platforms. And some of the best mixes I've ever heard are almost completely dry. But then, depending on the room you play it back in, the room itself will add some character and some reverb. So, yeah, I tend to go with a slightly drier mix recently. And it's working for me. So, yes, that is now going to be exported and sent off to the lads for appraisal. And yeah, one of the things I may have mentioned at some point is that when all the rest of the album is, well, when the mixes have been pulled together, Paul from Banana Ranch is going to come into the studio and we're going to sit down with each track and we're probably going to play around and tweak a few things and get everything, yeah, just little bits of feedback and conversations about each song and just small tweaks as we go, as per their wishes, not mine. Because I can put my stamp on something, but beyond a certain point, it's their album. And yeah, as it stands, I feel like this song is working for me as quite a dry thing. But again, when that conversation comes up, if it comes up, then I wouldn't be against changing it. But right now, I don't think this sounds too bad. So, yes. Yes, as Aceman says, if you can hear it, clearly it's probably too much reverb. Yes. We all love the gin. Yes, indeed. That was a good song. It is a good song. And should be released at some point very soon. But yes, that is that for today. I've been at this since about 11 this morning. And yeah, if you want to help support us to do more of this kind of stuff, check out the Patreon. If you want to talk on a platform that's not going to randomly just stop, then do check out our Discord, because that's always available and we do converse on there a lot of the time. It was through Discord that I found out through our mod Marty that the chat had stopped working. So yeah, check that out, and thank you everybody. I'll be talking to a German band, punk band, tomorrow about mixing one of their songs in the studio. Project X is coming along quite well. On Friday, I'll be doing the big scary part of Project X, which I can't wait to tell you about. And tonight, I need to prepare more for Project Y. So, stay tuned, and I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Hey everyone, that might be the end of the video, but if you fancy carrying on this conversation, we have a Discord server, link is in the description. We're also on Patreon, which is something you can really help us with. We also are on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Hop Hole Studios. See you there.